I'm very pleased to invite him onto the stage the Lord Chancellor and Secretary of State for Justice, the Right Honourable Chris Grayling MP. Thank you very much indeed for your attention. Chris Grayling on stage. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Over to you, Minister.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, can I start by paying a warm tribute to all of those in the Tamil community who have come together to make tonight's dinner possible, to create such a fantastic event. An opportunity for us to meet friends, but also share understanding about the issues we know the community faces. And in doing so, to continue the very positive and constructive dialogue that exists between your community and parliamentarians here tonight. Parliamentarians of all parties, sign on the feelings that exist across Parliament about the need to get to a better place in Sri Lanka. It's really good to see so many here tonight, really good to see so many friends. My good wishes, of course, go to all of the Tamil community here in the UK, but you'll also forgive me perhaps if I pay a particular tribute to those friends in the British Tamil Conservatives who are so active in supporting my colleagues and myself, who are particular friends of me, myself. I'd also like to say a few words about the Tamil community in my own constituency. I'm really pleased to be the Member of Parliament who represents the home of the Sri Rajeshwari Amman Temple in Stoneleigh. I was there most recently, 2 weeks ago, for the Friday evening worship, and has always found a warm welcome from those who attend the temple, as well as, I have to say, a stunning job that's been done in restoring, will be the wrong word, but redecorating and regilding the temple. Is now a magnificent spiritual centre. It has to be one of the most beautiful shrines in London and in the UK. And I'm really proud that that is in my constituency. I'm proud of the Tamil community who is such an integral part of that temple. And indeed, its annual Chariot Festival is one of the great local community events, not just because it is a moment of spiritual importance, but also because of the way it serves as a way of building knowledge and friendship between the worshippers of the temple and the local community. And before I go on to talk about the issues of Sri Lanka, one of the things I did want to say is that the Tamil community really does now play an enormously important role in our country. You'll find members of your community in most different walks of life, particularly in the health and social care world, and many tonight are an important part of what is a really important sector for this country, doing a really valuable job, particularly for our elderly. And we may in politics have long debates about the scale of immigration, the level of immigration to the UK, about how many people this country can actually absorb. But it is also really important for us all as politicians to remember just how much of a contribution so many of those who have come to this country make to it. How an important part of our community you all are, and what a significant role the Tamils now play in this country. And in particular, I think I've paid tribute to the Asian business community in the UK, and there's many of you here tonight in business. It's now a vital part of our economy, and the business skills in your community are, I think, really important as we seek to build and develop business opportunities in India and elsewhere in Asia. And the more that you can build and grow and develop your enterprises, the better. But no speech at an event like this could possibly ignore the terrible events in Sri Lanka, the things we're being talking about tonight. There is absolutely no doubt whatsoever in my mind that the Tamil community has suffered terribly in recent years. I know most of you have friends and relatives in Sri Lanka living in the most difficult conditions, and that many of you lost loved ones in the fighting in the civil war that took place. There has to be a proper investigation of what took place. We have to get to the truth. There can be no future without that. And I'm pleased. And I'm really pleased that the United Kingdom was a key backer of last year's United Nations Human Rights Council resolution, which not only called on Sri Lanka to make domestic progress, on ongoing human rights concerns and reconciliation, but also did establish the international investigation into allegations of violations and abuses of international law. You know that the High Commissioner is due to report back to the UNHRC shortly to assess Sri Lanka's overall domestic progress and its international investigation. I also hope you believe, and I know many people in this room tonight, because he spoke to me and told me about it at the time, had your concerns about David Cameron's decision to go to Sri Lanka. But I hope you now look back and think his decision to go to Jaffna was a really bold and important step. I hope you feel that it did an awful lot to highlight the challenge that the Tamil community faces, to highlight the issues in Sri Lanka, that it did really make a difference. And we all want to see, the Prime Minister wants to see, as you heard from his words spoken by Nick tonight, wants to see a proper, just settlement for the future of the Tamil community. It's what we all want. We need to know the truth about what happened. But actually, almost more important still now is looking forward and making sure that the Tamil community in Sri Lanka can in future live in freedom and in peace. And to that end, I really do welcome the change of government in Sri Lanka. It's early days, there's a long way to go, but we are, as a government, the United Kingdom is seeking to work closely with President Sirisena and his new government on a consensual resolution which brings Sri Lanka into making domestic progress, to ensure that Sri Lanka considers the international report and its recommendations, and of course to ensure that all of the findings of that investigation are properly reported back to the UN. I know many of you welcome the establishment of that international effort. I also know many of you wanted us to implement sanctions against Sri Lanka. The thing that held us back from that was actually the United Nations Commissioner himself, who said that he wanted the freedom to get on with the job that he is pursuing without us taking that step. He did not want us to take any action that could have risked the independence or integrity of the investigation. That is why we took the line that we did. Now, you heard earlier that my colleague Hugo Swire is in Sri Lanka at the moment, meeting members of the new administration. He's been in Jaffna today. Aru here is a picture of him presenting books to the public library in Jaffna. I hope you'll all take comfort from the fact that our government has been one of the first countries to engage with the new Sri Lankan government. We welcome the early commitments we've seen, including those, and particularly those that will benefit Tamil communities. But as I say, there's a long way to go, and Hugo's going to engage in dialogue and see what progress we can make. And I know there is an understandable desire in this room to get to the truth of what happened, and I absolutely share that desire, as to my colleagues. But actually, as I say, equally important is that we do get to a proper political settlement that leads to demilitarisation, less involvement by the military in civilian life, and most particularly to a just future for all the Tamils there. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a long way to go. The full truth still needs to be known. We need a lasting settlement for the Tamil community. But let me finish again with just a word about this country. The work all of you do here has brought additional strength to our nation. There are some fantastic success stories among the British Tamil community. I know there will be many more to come. And as parliamentarians, and parliamentarians of all parties, I think we would all collectively say that we are proud of our relationship with all of you. Thank you.